Hello friends and good morning. It is windy. I've been waiting for a non-windy day to film this, but I'm gonna have to do it this morning because the wind just keeps coming up here on the ridge. The first and most important part of this video is checking up if you took my superhero challenge, what you've given up and what you've replaced it with. A bunch of you took this on. If you did, share in the comments how it's going. If you've fallen off the wagon at this point, this is a great chance to jump back on. If you haven't, share your victories down below and inspire each other. That's what it's all about. So if you remember a while back, I did a video on willpower and how I was wrong about how I was teaching people about building willpower. There's another interesting study that I've looked at recently, and this one takes to task another thing that I've often said and taken as a truth. Again, I was right in some ways and wrong in other ways in regards to this. This has to do with stress. But my assertion that I've often put out there to my family and people around me in the world is that stress is really, really bad for you. In fact, over time, stress will be found to be as bad or worse than smoking a pack of cigarettes a day. Enter in Nobel laureate Elizabeth Blackburn. She is a researcher that has been looking at telomeres. These are the little thingies inside of us that regulate cell division, among other things, and they shorten over time and are thought to be responsible for aging. And the conventional research shows that I was correct, that stress shortens these telomeres over time. So if people are living in chronic stress, they are going to have shorter telomeres, they're going to age faster, and be more subject to a whole host of diseases and ailments. But Elizabeth Blackburn was not satisfied with such a simple answer. And I think that's a good lesson for all of us. Living in a world where we can get a little bit too cause and effect sometimes, a little too linear in our thinking, a little too black and white. We need people like Elizabeth Blackburn who can ask questions. She looked at caregivers, people who are caring for chronically ill children, maybe cancer in children and elderly. I can't exactly remember the population. However, the point was that the caregivers were under this chronic stress for years and years and years, and when their telomeres were looked at, they all had shortened telomeres. Well, not all of them, actually. There was a small subset who didn't. And this small subset reported that they looked at the stress of caregiving differently than the others. In short, the caregivers could be broken down into people who looked at stress in two different ways. The one group has been labeled as people who look at stress in a fear-based way. The others look at stress in a challenge-based way. And you guessed it, the fear-based people, they have the shorter telomeres. Those who look at things as a challenge, well, they didn't have the same shortening. Now, honestly, friends, I should have known better than to say stress across the board is bad. Now, I did mean chronic stress. I am a supporter of short-term stress to build our bodies. That's what, for instance, calisthenics or weightlifting or running is. The stress of cold conditioning, I'm very for. But chronic stress, I just thought, that was bad. But what if our perception, as this research suggests, can change how chronic stress affects us? And I should have known better because in so many areas of my life, I found that my perception is the highest indicator of what I experience. I've gone so far sometimes as to say that perception equals reality, or at least my reality. If I walk up to a person and I feel fearful or intimidated or judgmental about them, I'm going to have a different experience of that person than I'll have if I go up and I feel excited to meet them or curious about them. But I think it's time for me to really understand how far this idea of perception affecting so much of our life, even our physiology, goes. The other day, I was exposed to some chemicals. They were probably some harmful chemicals. And I realized that I could look at that in a couple different ways. I could think, whoa, that's gotten into me. That's probably going to cause cancer. That's probably going to really, really make me sick. Or I can look at this and say, here's something that's coming into my body. My body is strong. It can take this challenge, no problem. That is probably going to alter how those chemicals affect me. If nothing else, they're going to affect my stress levels, right? It's going to be the difference between me clenching down in stress and creating maybe some of that fear-based telomere shortening stress, or me having an excitement about a challenge and not being affected by that stress. Does this mean we should go out and do stupid stuff and just feel like we're invincible? No, probably not. Though along this journey in life, I am curious to learn how far this can go if taken thoughtfully. But it does mean that we might examine a lot of things that we take for granted in life as the wise choice of action and see if maybe there's more to the story. For instance, eating healthy. I've always been someone that's eaten healthy, but in the back of my mind, I've also had this realization that when I look at a lot of the people that really try to eat healthy and take a lot of supplements, they tend to be some of the sickest people I know. Why is this? Well, it might be that there's two ways that we can eat healthy. The one is fear-based, feeling like if I eat anything that is, well, like a Twinkie, it's going to kill me. And there's been times in my life when I feel like that. Obviously, there's people that eat 10 Twinkies a day and they keep going. So I can probably eat one Twinkie, not that I would want to, but I could probably eat one Twinkie and be fine. But immersed in that healthy food equals healthy life mindset, I can start to become fear-based and think that even one Twinkie is going to wipe me out. On the other hand, I can think of healthy food in a different way. I can think of it as, I love eating healthy food. I love the taste of broccoli. I love the way I feel after I eat a really just wholesome meal. It's delicious. I feel energized. I feel vital. My head feels clear. It's awesome. What a different way to approach healthy eating. This can go out into how we exercise. This can go out into how we interact with other people. This has so many profound implications. And I think we humans are just beginning, well, we modern humans are just beginning to discover the power of this. I feel like this is spoken about a little bit in some of the old wisdom cultures. So in some ways, maybe we're rediscovering something here. Share your thoughts and ideas, my friend, on this subject. Remember, if you took the superhero challenge, tell us down in the comments how it's going. And Mirabelle is getting more and more, I have to say, into her hobby horse business and her hobby horse YouTube channel. Go and check it out. She's trying to grow it. It, to me, is really inspiring because she is helping kids and some young adults to get off screens and to get into their imagination. Hobby horsing is athletic, it's fun, and it is imagination based. We need that in the world more than just sitting in front of screens and having our imagination dished out to us by corporate entities. So go support her channel, share, like. Anybody that you know that would love to go into that adventure world, share that with them. I'll leave a link in the description and in the pinned comments. Finally, I am still taking applicants for programs this summer. The Peaceful Warrior program, the Forest Monk program, and Metamorphosis. Check those out on my website, ReWildU.com. So much love to you all. Please share and like this video if you found it valuable, and we will talk with you in the comments.